What's up, everybody? It's Josh. Welcome back to the channel, and I want to talk all about the coming Marvel What If show that's going to be coming on Disney Plus August 11th. I want to preview why I'm so friggin' excited for this show, and I literally think it might be even better than Loki, which to me has been the best thing that Marvel has done on Disney Plus yet, and it really showed me that Marvel is getting back on track with sort of their multiversal plans and that connective tissue that I love to talk about. And so there's actually a ton of different things to go over with regards to the What If show. So we're going to go over a bunch of that in this video, and then I want to kind of just surmise it all and kind of talk about again why I'm so excited for this. So right here is sort of one of the biggest things here, talking about how the What If show is officially MCU canon. The multiverse is here. It is real, and it is absolutely fantastic, people. And this all comes from AC Bradley, who made it very clear that despite the animation style and anthology premise, everything in the show is being considered canon. The events of What If are canon. It's part of the MCU Multiverse. The multiverse is here. It's very real, and it is absolutely fantastic, people. Kate Herron, director of Marvel's Loki, previously commented that her show had ushered in a Marvel Cinematic Multiverse. This is something that a lot of people have been picking up on, calling it the MCM, etc., etc. While we all but knew that the likes of Doctor Strange into the Multiverse of Madness and Spider-Man No Way Home would embrace that development, it remained unclear whether What If would be considered a part of the MCM or not. Now we know that it is that way. And so that's one of the main things, like one of the first places that I want to begin with is just talking about how this show is absolutely canon. It is canon to the MCU, and not just canon in the sense that like, oh, somewhere in the multiverse, yes, this is happening, but in the way that I think it will introduce elements that are going to get picked up in live action movies. Right now, one of the biggest rumors out there, and this is a rumor that we've talked about several different times, is that Haley Atwell as Captain Carter will appear in Doctor Strange 2 Into the Multiverse of Madness. Now, technically, we have to treat that as a rumor for now, but it is coming from some of the best scoopers and insiders out there. It's been sort of rumbling around. Skylar Schuler talked about it on a podcast. Then Daniel Rickman confirmed it on his Patreon that yes, indeed, it will be a thing. And in fact, I actually heard this a while ago by some really, really solid people, but it was one of the things I was not supposed to talk about until it came out there more naturally. Now it's out there. I can talk about it a little bit more. Yeah, man. Captain Carter, totally going to be in Doctor Strange 2. And interestingly enough, ladies and gentlemen, the writer of What If actually did talk about this decision. It says here, while I'm on the direct here, it says, Marvel writer talks Captain Carter's potential return significance. In an exclusive interview with the direct, What If head writer AC Bradley addressed both the potential of multiversal heroes such as Haley Atwell's Captain Carter making the jump from animation to live action, and the cultural significance of curating Carter's story. Haley Atwell's rumored appearance as Captain Carter in next year's Doctor Strange into the Multiverse of Madness was specifically noted to Bradley as well. Bradley recalled that the idea for What If began in 2018, citing that animation is a medium of patience and figuring out how or if the characters like Atwell's Peggy Carter could connect to the movies down the line wasn't considered. However, Bradley mentioned that the one person who likely does consider this is Marvel Studios president Kevin Feige. Bradley says here, when we started What If, it was in 2018. Animation is a medium of patience, so you don't start looking at how it's going to connect to movies 5 years later. Maybe Kevin Feige does. Kevin is a brilliant man. If that man had decided he wanted to study astrophysics, he'd be leading the Mars mission. He's that kind of man. This is kind of what I've been talking about. I'm a big Feige simp. He's way smarter than he leads on. Best producer of all time. Absolute genius. Bradley then talked about creating Captain Carter's story. When it came to creating Captain Carter, we knew we wanted Peggy Carter as the hero of the first episode, and my job was to find not the what if she got the serum, but how do we get there? What's the character moment that brings us there? Yeah, so it's interesting, right? She's literally told about the rumor. She's asked to address it. She says, well, we didn't really come up with that, but in the same interview, she's actually talking about how Captain Carter as being, or Peggy rather, as getting the serum, that was a mandate. That was something sort of created already, something probably Feige wanted, and then it was her job to try to figure out how to get there with the story beats. So she's kind of saying that like, hey man, I didn't think that way with these characters, but if there's one dude that did, it was Kevin Feige. He's a genius. He's also the dude that more or less mandated the way that this show was going to start. So again, what we have here is sort of the setup by Kevin Feige and the writer sort of winking at this idea that Feige was the one that established Captain Carter. And when asked about the rumors of Captain Carter coming into the MCU, she kind of says like, yeah, I didn't really think that way, but if there's a person that did, it was Kevin Feige. He's that level of genius. You also have her talking about how it's absolutely MCU canon, that the multiverse is here, and it's amazing. Now, that combined with all the rumors sort of really nails home that what we are looking at here with What If is something that is very, very important to the future of the MCU. And in fact, there is another thing I want to show you guys right here, and this is another comment made, and it is literally saying, What If producer says the MCU animated series is as important to Marvel's multiverse as Loki. Producer on What If says it's no coincidence that Marvel Studios' original animated series picks up where Loki left off with the opening of the Marvel Cinematic Multiverse. Pretty crazy. Here's what they said. It's no coincidence the show picks up right after Loki. The multiverse has erupted in every possible direction. Marvel chief and producer Kevin Feige helped determine which MCU stories to twist in What If, asking such questions as, what if T'Challa of Wakanda became Star-Lord? What if Peggy, not Steve Rogers, was empowered by the super soldier serum? What if Spider-Man wore Doctor Strange's cloak to hunt zombie versions of Iron Man and Scarlet Witch? Pretty freaking crazy. Down here it says, I think that without going into great detail, I can tell you the What If as a project, as a story that exists in the MCU, is as important as any other and is woven into that tapestry. So, pretty freaking crazy statement there. Again, hinting at just how important this show is going to be for the multiverse and for the MCU moving forward. Now, it's also worth talking about in this preview video that people have seen the first 3 episodes of What If, and it's majorly looked at as a very exciting, awesome show. Each episode will be around 30 minutes in length. They will drop weekly. There was originally 10 episodes. Now there will only be 9, as one of them got pushed into season 2 because of delays due to 2020 and the global health thing. We have a relative idea of what will happen in the first couple of episodes. I believe the first one will be talking about Captain Carter. I believe the second one will be talking about Chadwick Boseman and T'Challa as Star-Lord. And I believe the third one is set to be some kind of a dark mystery, perhaps with Doctor Strange or other characters. And I think episode 3 takes a very different twist. I particularly remember Brandon Davis from comicbook.com saying that the first 2 episodes were cool, but didn't really do it for him. But the third one takes it in a different direction that he really liked. And so if you're new to the channel over here, we're going to be doing preview videos for each episode. We're going to be doing breakdown videos, watch parties over on our live streaming channel. We're going to be covering What If at great lengths because, again, I think it's really, really freaking important to the whole of the MCU. Now, I want to speculate about a couple of things. Number one, I want to talk about the Captain Britain core. This is something that Rob from Comics Explained brought up to me in a live stream we did together recently, and it was such a good point and something that I had completely missed. I was so fixated on Peggy Carter being Captain America that I didn't think about the connections to her being Captain Britain and being a part of the Captain Britain core. In the comics, the Captain Britain Corps is basically like a league of other superheroes, and they all appear as an alternate version of Captain Britain. They're all essentially the same hero with different variants from alternate realities. They sometimes will team up to face huge threats that are organized by the mystical entity Roma and the Starlight Citadel on Otherworld. And oh man, does that set up some absolutely wild stuff for the future of the MCU, especially if they're going to go all in on this multiversal stuff and take it to the next level, baby. We also know they're doing other seasons of What If, and Captain Carter is going to be in every single season of What If. That is super exciting to me, and hopefully we see some of that because the Captain Britain core is awesome and would be such a cool thing to see utilized in future multiverse stories. Now, let's talk about why animation and why I'm so hyped up about an animated show and why I think an animated show could legitimately be better than Loki, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and WandaVision, which are all pretty good shows, good to great, depending on, where you are at with them. I think mostly this is because What If allows them to do insane things that will really surprise us as Marvel fans. The fact that we're going into different realities and we're finding all of these different versions of characters that we love, it allows them to do crazy things like kill off characters that we love, have characters that we think are good, betray other characters, and all sorts of fun stuff like that. Not to mention, the flavor is going to be awesome. Ultron in the actual Vision body, possible Steve Rogers getting bit by the spider and becoming a Spider-Man, T'Challa as Star-Lord, Howard the Duck in in general, there's just a lot of stuff to look forward to, and I think that really they're going to just have as much fun as they possibly can, and they're not going to be confined by the connective tissue, again, my favorite word, that really did help the MCU in its first Infinity Saga just have a lot of extra value and bring in a lot of fans, but also becomes kind of restricting in a way, right? You can't do this because this character's over here doing this, etc., etc. A problem that Marvel Comics fell into many different times during their publication history. And so they can go crazy as they want to go, and I think the action is going to be dialed up to 11. They can do absurd things and not have to pay the budget that they would need to do such things in live action, and I am just here for it. I'm a big fan of animation. I'm a big Marvel Comics fan, and this feels like the most Marvel comic-y thing that the MCU has done. It's so friggin' cool, and I can't wait to see all the little mysteries, Easter eggs, and possible characters that we'll meet later on in live action or in more animated stuff, because as you might know, and maybe you don't, they are doing a whole division of Marvel Studios dedicated to animation, and I think we're going to get a lot more animated stuff that's connected to the MCU, and that is just awesome. Marvel fans are eating so well. I'm so excited for this show. Let me know what you think about it in the comment section below. Make sure you are subscribed to this channel so that you get all of our What If content. Going to be doing it for 9 to 10 weeks straight. Make sure you check out the live streaming channel so you can catch our watch parties and catch the streams where we'll be talking about this with our community. As I always say, I hope you're having an awesome and a nerdy day, and I'll see you in the next video.